here. Good morning. You've heard all of that, right? You know that song. Good morning to you. Good morning, all of you. And it is Saturday morning once again, and it's story time once again. And it's a beautiful and a bright and a wonderful sunny day. You can tell probably from the background here that I am actually back in Florida. So I've been traveling the last couple of days, and here I am, and always, of course, happy to be home, but very, very, very sad that I've left my darlings. But I should be seeing them again sort of fairly soon around Christmas time. Now, isn't that a scary thought? Because Christmas really and truly is not that far off. I didn't mean to say that to all of you, but anyway. All right, so good morning. First of all, I would like to say good morning to my spirit guide, Grey Eagle, who is, as always, standing to my right side. And I would like to say good morning, Chris. How are you, Chris? Our lovely, lovely facilitator.
Good morning, everyone. I'm great.
Good. And Chris, I can hear you beautifully. Those new headphones that you've got make a massive, massive difference to what we're doing here. So it's good to know, right? All right, so shall I dive into my story? I think I shall dive into my story. So, all right, so first of all, I'm going to mention the fact that so many of you want to know about reincarnation, and so many of you want to know about angels and spirit guides and all of that stuff. So I thought, this is a story that I can tell, which shows how easily we can get. Let's say how easily we can get fooled into believing that certain things happen, and how easy it is for us to go down that road where we think we know something, we're learning something, and it's exciting to learn all of these things, and then somebody comes along and says, well, actually everything that you know is not correct. Now, I do not want to say that to any of you, because if you out there believe in reincarnation, if you feel that you have been reincarnated, if you feel that you're here on your second or first, third, 10th, 100th life here on this earth, then that's your choice, and it's an amazing thing. And so my job here is not to dispel anyone's beliefs or anyone's belief system, because I think we all should work together, and I have my own beliefs about different things, and I respect that everybody else has their own beliefs too. So you wonder where we're going with this, Chris?
I know it'll be good, whatever it is.
All right, so once upon a time, as all good stories must begin, I always tell my grandson this. So once upon a time, I was in Hong Kong, and I know that I've told you before a few stories about my visits to Hong Kong, but when I was in Hong Kong, the first time I ever went to Hong Kong, I was a bit of a surprise to people. I didn't do any advertising or tell anyone in Hong Kong that I was around, but within a few days of my arriving in Hong Kong, for some odd reason, someone must have discovered that I was there, and I was invited to do a radio show. And from that radio show, it was like all of a sudden the phone in my friend's house, I was staying with a friend of mine, my friend Kay, and the phone would not stop ringing. I felt so badly. I felt as if I should be paying for an extra line and an extra phone that that I could personally answer. It was like, 1 minute I was there and I was on vacation, and of course I was hoping to do a little bit of work and hoping to investigate and to check out Hong Kong and all the exciting stuff in Hong Kong, but I didn't expect to be overwhelmed. I didn't expect to take over my friend's house, but she and her husband and her kids were just phenomenal. They were amazing. And before, I think the first time I went there, I was there for 6 weeks, and before the 6 weeks was up, it was like the house was busy all the time. I had people calling me from just about every country you could possibly imagine, and that means, excuse me, that I also had people calling up who had different religious beliefs, different religious experiences, different spiritual experiences, many of which were very new to me at the time. However, taking consultations, having people coming to the house of just about every nationality that you could imagine was exciting, and it was fun, and it was just a really fun thing to do. However, so this particular story that I'm going to tell is about a young man who, the first thing I noticed about him when he came through the door was that he was very tall and skinny, and he stooped. Often tall people, especially if they're not, sure of, or they're nervous about their height, or they feel a bit self-conscious about their height, they do tend to make themselves smaller, or they think they're making themselves look smaller by stooping. So this guy sort of stooped, his shoulders were bent forward, his head was sort of forward, and so on. I'm making him sound like he was grotesque looking, which was not the case at all. He was quite a good looking guy, actually, but his posture was dreadful. Anyway, so he came in, and he sat down, and I started to explain to him what it was that I was going to try to do for him. But he just, without preamble, took over the whole thing and began to tell me that all about his past lives, which there were many of. And it didn't matter how much I tried to stop him and say, could you let me do this? He just wanted to talk about himself. And so he told me how in a past life he had been a centurion, a Roman soldier, and he'd been fighting on the battlefields, and he'd fallen, and all of his sort of comrades, they were all rushing forward onto the field of battle, and he was trampled on and trampled into the ground, and so on and so forth. So he's telling me this fantastic tale of how he was a Roman soldier who was in battle, and he fell in battle, and he was trampled into the ground, which he explained to me was why every life he'd ever had since then, he'd suffered with severe back problems because of this trampling of these Roman soldiers. Now, you have to know me to understand that now I'm beginning to think, is this guy crazy? Because I am a very skeptical person, and I can't help it. I'm skeptical whenever anybody tells me anything. My first thought when somebody's recounting an experience to me, whether it's true or otherwise, my first thought is, well, is this real? Is this person's imagination? Is it real? What is it? I mean, I question, and I beg everybody else to do the same. Please, please, please learn to do the same thing. Because if you question, and if you doubt, and if you sort of investigate these things, very often, probably 7 out of 10 times, you'll find it's a person's imagination. And then there are those other 3 times when you're looking at a reality, which is, I find, very fascinating, very interesting. So here we are. So this young man, he's telling me that he suffers with a bad back because he was a centurion in a past life, and he got trampled to death, and so thereafter, through all of his other lives, wherever he's been, he's had severe back problems. Then he goes on to tell me various other things about his other lives, and then he tells me, and all of this time he's perfectly serious, and he completely and absolutely believes everything that he's saying to me, and who am I to say that it's not true? And he goes on to tell me that he has at all times 12 angels surrounding him, and he is absolutely certain that I must be able to see them. And I did look, and I am not infallible. So, hey, I did look, and maybe I just didn't see them, or maybe they just didn't want me to see them, or maybe they were hiding in the corners, or whatever it was. I did not see those 12 angels that he was absolutely convinced were with him at all times. Now, one wonders, and here is my skepticism coming in here. One wonders if one is sensible and if one is sane and if one applies common sense, one has to wonder, why does he need 12 angels around him at all times? Angels are busy. They're busy doing God's work. Angels that are directed by God. Maybe, I thought to myself, maybe he's thinking that his family are his angels. Maybe he's applying, that theory to his family, his mother, his father, his grandparents, whoever it is. Maybe he's referring to them as angels, and when he says that he's surrounded by his angels, maybe he means that he's surrounded by his family, which I would absolutely agree with, especially as I was beginning at this point to see his family in the spirit world. But when I pointed this out to him and asked him, what do you mean when you're referring to angels? Do you mean your family? No. He was absolutely adamant. No, these were angels sent from God to surround him and to protect him and to keep him safe, because he suffered with his bad back. And this went on and on and on and on and on. This is not the first time. I'm sure it won't be the last time that I've given a consultation where there are so many questionable things going on. There are so many things that people say to me or suggest to me that might be, that to me are extremely questionable. So he obviously believed in reincarnation. My theory, as many of you will know, on reincarnation is, I do believe that there are people who do choose to come back here and continue to live on this earth plane, and maybe perhaps in another way, you would say another life. But the idea that we live here, we have our life here, and then and off we go up there when we die, and then we come back, and then we live here again, and off we go, and up and down, as if there is nowhere else to go but heaven and earth and heaven and earth and heaven. And I call it the yo-yo syndrome. And that part of reincarnation is something that I doubt very, very sincerely. Just because I doubt it doesn't mean you have to. Just because I don't buy into that, because I know that the universe and the many universes that are out there, are vast, doesn't mean I'm right. Doesn't mean you're right. It just means that all of us have our different opinions, our different belief systems, and our different experiences. But I'm not buying the yo-yo system. I'm not buying the yo-yo syndrome of up and down and up and down and up and down, because when we pass into the spirit world, at some point when we're ready, we are given choices. Maybe one of those choices is to come back and do this all again on this earth plane of ours. Maybe our choice is to go somewhere else, to travel somewhere else, or to have other experiences. And I'll take that second choice, because I know that unless somebody says to me, unless God says to me, Gregor says to me, or somebody says to me when I die, sorry, but you're back down there because your work isn't finished yet, unless they say that and there's a good reason for it, I'm not coming back, people. I want to explore the universe and the many universes that are out there. So now we're back to this young man who is now looking at me sort of totally expectantly. And really all he wants from this consultation, the only thing that he wants from this consultation, is for me to buy into this stuff that he's been telling me. He wants absolute confirmation. He wants me to say, yes, I do see these 12 angels around you, and wow, you were a centurion. He would have loved it if I'd have told him a story about something that happened to him when he was a Roman soldier. Unfortunately, I wasn't buying it. Unfortunately, Grey Eagle and his family were telling me a completely different story. What do I do? Do I tell him what I feel is the truth and disappoint him, or try to to come between him and his beliefs? What do I do here? So I took the road of not agreeing with him, but also I took the road of, well, whether or not you were a centurion in a previous life, I really am not qualified to say, which I'm not. But let me just explain your bad back to you. And then I could get into it. And then I was able to say to him, the reason you have a bad back is not because a Roman army trampled you into the ground those many lives ago. The reason you have a bad back is because you've got really, really lousy posture. You don't do any exercise. You don't take care of yourself. Most of the time you sit in a chair slumped over a computer. And of course, your back is suffering. Let me say, it was not my best attempt at a consultation, because once somebody's got something in their head, and he definitely loved the idea that he had been a centurion. He loved the idea that he had this experience. He loved the idea of being trampled by his own comrades, you know, and maybe it was true. But whether or not it happened, and whether or not you have, all of you out there listening to this story, whether or not you have experiences of previous lives and you believe that these lives are, you know, really important, here is the thing that I said to him, which I'm going to say to all of you out there who have your total belief systems, and I'm not arguing with it, and I'm trying very, you know, very hard to ensure that to all of you, you have your own beliefs and you should hold on to them. But right here, right now, today, yesterday, tomorrow, we can't do anything about what happened in the past. What matters the most, whether that past is a previous life, several previous lives, whether that past is yesterday, there's nothing we can do to change the past. There's nothing that I can do to change the fact that I sat on an aeroplane yesterday. There's nothing we can do about the things that have happened except to have a great attitude, to be positive, and to make sure that we live in the moment, our here and our now, the best way that we possibly can. And I'm saying this because I know that there are, and I have had clients who have come and said, the reason that I have an awful relationship, that I don't like men, that I have a terrible relationship with my husband, is because in a past life, I was a maid in a large house, and I was raped continually by the master of the house. Therefore, the reason I can't deal with men now is because of that past life experience. If it helps you to understand where you're coming from, fine, but then move on, will you? Because today, now, is not that time to go back in your life to worry and to wonder and to wish that things were different, because they are not. And this is what I tried to do with this young man. As much as you may have been trampled, as much as you may have been a centurion, as much as you have had all of these past life experiences, today there is something that you can do about your bad back. There's something you can do about your posture. You can do some exercises, gentle exercises. You can learn to stand up properly. You can stop slumping. You can be who you want to be. You can do what you want to be. And after all, if there are all of these other lives, previous lives, isn't this one so that we can learn and grow and improve who we are and improve what we can do with our life in the here and now? This is what I was able to tell this young man. He was so disappointed that I didn't see his 12 angels, but he went away totally believing that they were around. I'm still wondering why anybody would think that they've got 12 super beautiful, brilliant beings, spiritual beings, just hanging around them. What for? If you're going to believe in this stuff, Can you apply common sense? And and I promise you, it'll make you so much happier if you apply common sense and get rid of all the stuff that is nonsense and start living your life for today and making your life in the here and now, this life that you're living, the best that you could possibly live it. So this is what I told this young man when I was in Hong Kong. I have no idea whether he took my advice or not. He did come back to see me another time. Maybe he was a glutton for punishment, because when I give consultations to people, I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what is. If what is also what you want to hear, that's fantastic. That's brilliant. That's wonderful. But if you need a kick up the bottom, or if you need a reality check, or whatever it is that you might need, those in the spirit world who love you are going to ensure that you get exactly what you need. So when you come for a consultation with me, you don't always get what you want. You always get what you need. So that's my story for today. The end. Chris, what did you think of that story?
Well, I personally think it's got a great message that even if something terrible happened to us yesterday, today's a new day and we can start off and make a difference today.
Easier said than done. For those people who are out there who their yesterdays were painful, they're suffering, they're still suffering today. So I don't want people thinking I'm being glib and saying, hey, just move on from yesterday. It takes a lot of hard work, it takes a lot of patience, and it takes an awful lot of courage to move on with our lives and to make the most of our lives on a daily basis. But it does hopefully give the message that no matter how many lives you may or may not have lived in the past, you're living this one right now. Can we make sure that this one is the most important, the most successful, and the most beautiful life that we do live. Right. Chris, do we have any? I can see the questions. I can see we're inundated.
That's funny, Rosemary. Do we have any questions?
Well, I do have to give everybody a heads up. We are shutting this down at 12 on the dot today. So my story was fairly short, and I'm going to have some short answers for people. So we're going to try and get in as many questions as we possibly can, but Chris has to dive off, and so we have to be very respectful of that. And we really should only go to 12 o'clock anyway. Any extra is due to Chris's generosity, really. All right, Chris, shall we go for it?
We shall. Just to let you know that Reese is watching.
Oh, my darling. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I do love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. No matter how many times I say it, it's never enough. Good morning, my darling boy. I love you. I love you. All right. Let's keep going, Chris.
All right. So all kinds of hellos from all places all over the globe. Jacqueline Ivy has the first question.
Good morning, Ivy.
Hi, Rosemary. After having a fantastic session with you in June and doing your meditation, The Journey Towards Healing, it has opened me up more spiritually. Can I ask you and Gray Eagle what you see me doing spiritually, or any abilities? Thanks, love, and blessings.
I love you to pieces. You're coming to me for another consultation. Why are you asking me this now? You have to wait and see, my lovely. We'll deal with all of that the next time I'm talking to you, just the two of us. But thank you for the question. You are a sweetheart, really. Keep going, Chris.
Cheryl wants you to know that you look so lovely today.
Oh, Cheryl, thank you. Do you like my short? I said to my daughter, just cut it as short as you can, because I've got to sort of go till Christmas. I can't get another haircut until Christmas. By Christmas, it'll be the perfect length. But thank you for saying that, my lovely. Thank you.
All right. Elaine has a question.
Hi, Elaine.
I have sent you an email over 2 months ago. I received this incredible reading in November 2004 at your friend's house in England. So I wrote you about this reading, what happened at the reading.
I think she means a consultation, but yes, keep going.
And what happened afterwards, but I never got a message back. Maybe you didn't receive it. Just curious.
What's the name of this person?
Elaine.
Elaine, well, I'm glad that you had a fantastic consult with me. And can you send the email again, please, to me and remind me of who you are? And I promise you I shall reply. I could not tell you. Did you say over 2 months ago?
Yes.
I've been away for 2 months, so it may have gotten lost somehow, in all the other stuff. So please don't think we're ignoring you, my sweetheart. And I'd love to know what I told you, because I can never remember. I'm a terrible person for remembering these things. People have to remind me. But if you wouldn't mind, my sweetheart, sending that to me again, and I promise I'll do my best to read it and to reply to you. So it's totally probably my fault, because I've been all over the place the last couple of months. So, Chris.
Maggie says,
Morning, Maggie.
I'm not sure I'd like to have the movie Groundhog Day scenario in many lives. I think I'd like to go forward. Going backwards is something I'm trying to get out of.
Yeah, I so agree. I know that, there are certain type of people, right? The people who sort of go every single year to the same place for vacation. They feel comfortable. They know other people there. They love doing it. That's the sort of person I would imagine who'd want to keep coming back and doing the familiar stuff. Personally, when I go on vacation, I like to try new things, new food, new places, new people. So I guess it depends on the kind of person you are. But yes, I couldn't agree with you more.
Elizabeth is asking.
Morning, Elizabeth.
Good morning, Rosemary and Grey Eagle. I would like to know if there will be a career change for my husband, who has a small company, and also if new job offers come up soon. Thank you for the answer.
As far as your husband is concerned, I think the thing that is holding him back is that he seems nervous about expanding. And if he did expand, in what way? I wish we had more time to help you. My suggestion to you is, if you really need to know about this, and I know it's not easy for everybody, but try to find someone to have a consultation. Try to find someone like myself who can spend time with you and give you some help and advice in which way to go. It's too much to do in such a short amount of time, but I think that expansion is the way that you just sort of off the top of my head. Expansion is the way that your husband should be thinking, but in which way he seems to be a little bit confused. So he might need a little bit of help and guidance. Maybe he should go to talk to other people who are in the same or similar business to him. Just be careful. Take it slowly. If you can afford, or if you can connect with someone like myself who's able to sort of give you some help and advice, book a consultation with them and see if they could, because it can be so helpful. It can be really, really helpful. Yes, Chris.
Mark is on.
Morning, Mark.
From Tulsa to you, Grey Eagle and Chris with love. Love this story.
Got your ticket. Keep going. Sorry.
Yep.
This story.
Can Grey Eagle and you see if a certain Carol Jane Marie watch over my grandniece or nephew, or is there a little child who watches over them? Their mom, my niece Carol, has asked me, and I have followed you since your Oprah debut.
Oh, you're lovely. Thank you. I wish we had more time. I know that there are many who are watching. You know this too, Mark. I know that there are many who are watching over us. But Grey Eagle just very quickly is telling me to tell you there is a child who is watching over the child. There's a child watching over the child. So I hope that helps you. I hope that helps. can we just talk about the Eventbrite, Chris? Can we talk about the webinar just very briefly? Hold the date, the 24th of
October.
Thank you. The 24th of October, we are doing a webinar. If you want tickets are $45. I know nothing. So you can tell I know nothing. Tickets are $45. We'll be talking about what is mediumship, what does it mean anyway, how does it work, and so on. This is not a webinar teaching people how to be a medium, but it's explaining mediumship. It's talking a little bit about spirit guides and what we should believe, or should we believe, or what is a spirit guide anyway. But it's explaining some of the mysteries surrounding how all of this works and how mediumship works. And of course, there'll be a Q&A. Oh, there's always a Q&A. You can, where can they find their tickets, Chris?
So I've put a link in the chat room, and I'll end story time today with the link again. So they'll be able to find it either at the beginning or ending of this video. Okay,
great. So you can book tickets now. All right. So sorry, go on, Chris.
All right.
I don't know why, but Mark made me think about it.
Sagar, Sagar is on.
Yeah. Good morning.
I'm a drunkard and my life is falling apart. Can you help me?
Oh, darling. The first thing we can do is we can send you some healing, which we will do. You don't have to give us any details. We'll just put down the name that you gave to us and you'll be on my healing list. We certainly will be sending you lots of prayers. The fact that you've reached out for help is amazing. And, what you need to do is to reach out to AA works. The problem with AA, and I love AA and I love the work that they do, is that the recovery rate is so minimal. To talk about this and what people can do and what you should do, unfortunately, we do not have the time here, but you're not on your own. There are so many people who are like you, who have addictions of one kind or another. I think the thing that I can say to you, hopefully, which will inspire you a little bit, is that you do have to want to stop. You do have to really, really want to be different. And if you really want it, then with the right help and the right guidance, with a lot of kindness from people, with a lot of understanding from people, you can beat this, but you have to want it. It's no good telling, the problem with people who are addicted is that they lie to themselves more than they lie to anybody else, but they lie to everybody because, it's just the way of addiction. So you need to sort of ask yourself the question, and don't lie when you're answering yourself, because it's about you and what you want. You look yourself right in the eye and ask yourself, do you really, really want to stop this? Because if you really, really want to stop it, you'll find a way to do it. We will send you healing in the meantime. Please let me know. Email me. That's for anybody out there. Email me. Let me know more about you. Rosemary at rosemaryaltea.com. Okay, Chris.
Kathleen is on.
Good morning, Kathleen.
Does Spirit want me to be with Tom or someone new? Thank you.
Well, it's not that simple, is it? I don't know. Okay, here's the thing. Those in the spirit world can help you. They can guide you, but they're certainly not going to dictate to you. You are the one with choices. In the same way that the previous question was, can you help me because I'm drinking? You are responsible for your own self. If you don't take responsibility for your own self and your own decisions, then nobody else can help you. So do you want to be with Tom, or do you want to go for somebody else? And it is not for me to tell you which way you should go. I'm not going to interfere with your decision making. But here's what I will say to you. Think about how many times you've made the same mistake over and over again and believed somebody over and over again, knowing that they are not true to their word. That should help you, but you're the one who has to make the choice. Moving on, Chris.
Cheryl says, I personally think one life here is enough, but I would like to think that when I pass over, I can become a helper to someone like Grey Eagle does.
Yeah, wouldn't that be fantastic, Cheryl? That's my hope. I'm hoping that my work is not done once I'm done, so to speak. I want to sort of explore. I'm excited to think of all the different things that we can do and all the different ways that we can explore the universe. But most important is, start that exploration now. Start if you want to be a helper or a carer, then start now. Don't wait. I once, years and years ago, had a boyfriend who I'd been visiting a very sick patient, and I came home and I was so tired and so exhausted. I sat in the chair, and he said to me, when I die, I want to be able to help people. When I die, that's what I want to do. And sort of just, I'd just been out for hours and hours with someone who was dying. And I looked at my boyfriend and I said, well, why wait till you die? What are you waiting for? Why don't you start now? Which is when I say to people, one of the points of the story was, stop waiting. Whatever it is you want to do, you don't have to wait till you die for the opportunity. Go to the nearest children's home, offer to be a driver, a bus driver or a taxi driver, go to the old folks home, go to the hospital and read books to people who can't see. There are tons and tons and tons of different ways that we can help. And especially, with COVID people, I know people are European. I can hear you thinking it. Well, can't go out now because of COVID. Well, what do you think I'm doing? Go online. Go online to your local library. Who can I help? Who can I talk to? Who can I, read stories to? And, find ways to do these things. Don't wait. But I do admire what you're saying, my lovely. Keep going, Chris.
I chuckled when you said that, Rosemary, because I had this quick vision of, well, could you at least pick up your socks off the bedroom floor? Because that's helping, right? You could fix somebody dinner. You could take out the garbage. There's things you can do at home. You don't have to go out.
You don't have to help everybody else either. You just help your family. But yeah, I'm with you. I laughed because yesterday morning, I looked at my daughter, and most days for the last 2 months I've made the beds, and I've she's done most of the stuff, I have to say, but I've made the beds and I've cooked, and I've made sure that I made 2 quiches this week, and I've done my part in making sure that they've got. I made them a chocolate cake. They'll still be nibbling at that over the weekend. There are lots and lots of things that you can do to help your family, but I looked at Samantha and said, you do realise, don't you, that no more babysitting, no more cooking. She so wanted me to change my ticket and stay for another few weeks. Stay at least another week. So, go for it. Stop. Well, not that I'm suggesting our lovely questioner said this, because I think that you do help and you do go out of your way to help other people. But there are so many people out there who are thinking, oh, I wish I could do something to help people. I wish I was that kind of person. Well, get in the kitchen then. Or as I've said, go to the local old folks hospital and offer to read to people. People in an old folks home, they're often blind. They can't see. They love to have people read to them. Go do something, everybody out there. Do something for somebody else. It feels so good. Chris.
All right. Judith is on.
Morning, Judith.
Prayers, please, for my sister Sandra and brother Richard. They are both in the ICU.
Oh, absolutely. Perhaps if you don't want to say what's going on with them, here, you could email me and let me know, or not, but we definitely will put them on our healing list, which means prayers from my team and myself. Chris is part of that team, so prayers every day. They'll be on our healing list. We'll be doing our hands around the world, connecting with people all over the world. And if you want to join with us, hands around the world, all you have to do is find a moment. I always suggest 11 a.m. In the morning, just for 1 minute. Send out a 1 minute healing prayer. Join with us, hands around the world. Rosemary Altea, hands around the world. And our collective prayers and our collective healing work fabulously. They work wonderfully. We'll definitely put them on the list, my darling. And if you do want to let me know more, or you just need to just expert, whatever, email me. And that goes for all of you out there, rosemary@rosemaryaltea.com. Chris, keep going.
Tara has a question.
Morning, Tara.
I have to leave a place I love very much. Will I ever get to return again? Is there something I can do to stay or keep my home?
All right. This is from Grey Eagle, and I hope this helps you. Okay. Change, trauma. Well, the word trauma simply means change, but when we're going through a trauma, it really doesn't feel like it's just a change, does it? But change is not a bad thing, my love. Change is something that can be really good, and it sort of gets us out of the rut that we're in, or it gets us out of one way of life and shows us that there are other things, other people, other ways of living. So I do feel that although this is very, very hard for you, my darling, and my heart goes out to you because, oh gosh, I remember years ago when Samantha was a baby, so we're going back a long time. I can remember I sold the house that I loved. I did not want to go. We moved for my husband's job. I had friends, I had neighbors. It was where my daughter was born. I was very ill when I was there with all my kidney stuff going on. So I built and developed this incredible community with the people who were wonderful for me. And I can remember sort of dragging my heels, not wanting to pack boxes and so on until the very last minute. And when it came time to leave, I remember holding on to the door jamb, crying my eyes out and trying to stay and trying to hold on. It sounds very dramatic, I know, but it was a very special and a very wonderful place for me. And this was my first true home. And I loved it. The garden was, I mean, I can go on and on and on. I have to tell you that 6 months later, I went back there to meet with all of my friends. And it was lovely to go back and it was lovely to visit. But boy, had I grown in that 6 months. I had grown and I realized that I had been living a much smaller life than I could be living. So it was hard, it was difficult, but in the end, it was the best thing that happened to me. And I do feel that this is what's going to happen to you too. I think there'll be so many opportunities out there for you, my love. So, you know, try and let go what cannot be and work towards what is and what can be in the future. Chris.
Michelle is on.
Hi, Michelle.
I'd like to ask Grey Eagle, please, something that is very important to me. A friend invited me to the beach in October. I said yes, but I want to know if it's going to happen. I would appreciate it a lot. Lots of love to all.
This is, you know, such an easy question, right? People, I know you're all thinking, why don't you just say yes or no then? But it is not actually that simple, which is why I think you're asking me the question in the first place. And the answer has nothing to do with COVID. I think it has to do with what you want and how much you're prepared to dare and to dare to be. So I think if you really want it, you can make it happen. But I always say to people, you know, if in doubt, don't. I think that the doubts that you're having are perhaps to do with self-doubt rather than doubting if it's a possibility. If you want to go to the beach, you can go to the beach. Try not to doubt your own self, because that will be the thing that makes you run away, let's say, or hide in a corner. Chris.
Darinka says,
Good morning.
Your words always reach the soul. Thank you. I always try to live in my present and now, but I always feel that I have not fulfilled my mission here, and I don't know how to find out. Greetings to all.
Well, here is a message for you, and here is a message for your soul. You are where you are supposed to be right now. You need to have some trust in your own self. Sometimes our mission is simply to be and to take what life offers us, what it gives us, to be respectful of this earth of ours. Sometimes our mission is simply to meet people, to build on our energy, to feed our own soul. That is our mission. Sometimes it is that. It doesn't have to be a greater mission than feeding your soul, because there's no more important thing that any of us can do than to feed our soul. And we feed our soul by paying attention to it, by listening to it, by learning to listen to the heartbeat of our soul. We feed ourselves by nurturing our soul, nurturing that within us, which is a spiritual thing. And if we can do that, then that mission complete. That's because that is the most important thing, because that is why we're here. We don't necessarily come here for other people. We come here because we need this learning experience. And so in having that learning experience, it's amazing how many people we can touch, and it's amazing how many people we can inspire. It's amazing how many people we can help. But don't get hooked on the mission, thinking it's something that is outside of you. Work on you. Your whole energy will grow. You will flower, and you will find that you are interacting with other people with like minds, and that enhances the mission. Hope that helps you. Yes, Chris.
Pixie Willow, after you finished your story, said, "It makes perfect sense. Thank you."
Pixie, I love that name. I'd like to be called Pixie. Do you think the name Pixie would suit me?
With your new haircut, yes.
Well, actually, people used to make fun of me. I'm not going to necessarily show you my ears right now, but they are slightly pointed. My sisters would always make fun of me for my little pointed ears, which I never did mind, because I like the fact that I've got little pixie ears, and thank goodness they are little as well. So anyway, but I love the name Pixie Willow. So thank you, my darling, for that. Keep going, Chris.
Jolly Voyager also left a comment after the story saying, "We only have today, live to the fullest."
Oh, so true. So true. We never know what's going to happen, do we, in our future? So make the day the best that you can make it. I do an exercise with my students sometimes. I'll send them home saying, right, tomorrow, just imagine that tomorrow is your last day. Do whatever you can in that last day. Make it count. Talk to the people you've not spoken to for a long time. Talk to or do the things that you've always wanted to do. Make amends with people that you've fallen out with. If today were your last day, what would you do with it? And and I had one group of students once who I sent them off with this exercise. Tomorrow is your last day. Think about it carefully. What would you do if this were your last day? And she went home, and the very first thing she did was she took out all of her underwear out of her drawers and completely reorganized, rearranged, threw out all the old tatty stuff. For some reason or another, the fact that she would die and people would find the state of her underwear drawer in a mess was just too much for her to bear. We all had a bit of a chuckle about that. That will never happen with me because everything in my drawers is exactly, I'm so anal about this stuff, exactly where it should be. Right, Chris?
Well, that reminds me of all our dear friends in California and Oregon, obviously other places in the world too, but with the fires who get woken up at 4 a.m. and suddenly have to evacuate. You know, what do you choose last when you leave the house?
It's hard. It's a hard thing. You know, some people just want their photographs because they feel that they're, you know, that they don't want to lose their memories. What they don't realize is that memories are in your heart more than they are in a photograph. But it is fun to look at photos too. So, you know, just sort of from time to time, give yourself that little directive and think to yourself, you know, if tomorrow were my last day, what would I want to do with it? Then just go out and do it, because we never know, do we? And there are so many people in the spirit world who never ever thought that that day was their last or would be their last, and are living with so many regrets. You'd be amazed how many people I speak to in the spirit world who say to me, if only, or I wish, or I should have spoken to them, or I should have put things right before I left. And please, you know, all of you out there, try not to live, and this is a daily thing, you know, and try not to live with regrets. I try very hard. I'm not sure I have any regrets really, because you can only do the best you can do, and it may not be good enough for some people, but as long as you did the best you could do, that's all you can do. Chris?
I just want to give you the heads up that we're just under 10 minutes.
Yeah.
All right. Sherry Lee says, please, can we pray for a young girl with her thyroid? She's having an operation very soon, and her mom is so worried.
Absolutely. We can put her on our mailing list if you would like to. You can either send it in now and Chris will check it, or you can send it to me at my email, rosemary@rosemaryaltea.com. We just would like, you don't have to give too many details. I don't want to know where you live or you know, any of that stuff. Just a first name is also fine. But if you can just say a first name, let me know her first name and her condition. We absolutely will be sending healing from this moment forward. We'll be sending healing for her. Tell her mum, try not to worry. Of course, it's a silly thing to say, but still, just do tell her that we're sending out our healing prayers to her. And also, you know, we also do like updates. So let us know how she's going on, would you please? Because you know, we do like to know these things. Chris?
Adriana wants to know, can you tell me who is beside me? He talks and he can touch.
Oh, interesting. No, I'm not going to tell you. It's for you to find out, I think. So pay attention and learn to listen, my sweetheart. Pay attention, learn to listen, because if this person wants you to know, then they'll let you know. That's all we have time for me to tell you right now. Chris?
Nanny King wants to know how she can schedule a consultation.
You email me, rosemary@rosemaryaltea.com for a consultation. You put in your subject line consultation, and we shall send you out all of the information that you need, including you know, we usually do this on FaceTime or Zoom or Skype or all of those things, so it will be a face-to-face. And so you just email the office. You can email the office, rosemary@rosemaryaltea.com, and ask, please, can I have details for a consult, and we'll get right back to you. If you haven't heard from us in a week or two, you go right back and email again. Hey, this is the second time. Can you let me know about a consultation? And we'll do our very best to accommodate you. That's not just for you, my sweetheart, but it's for everybody out there. Yes, Chris?
Suzanne says, I love it when you said, I don't tell you what you want, but what you need.
Yes.
Is there something I need to know right now? Greetings from Belgium.
Oh, Suzanne, I'm asking Greg Eagle, is there something that you need to know right now? Oh, well, first of all, I'm told to tell you that you are beautiful inside and out. You need to trust what's going on inside of you. You've got you already know this, I think. Why am I telling you what you already know? But you have beautiful healing hands and you really need to use them. I don't know. I have no idea if you're a nurse or whatever you are out there, but boy, oh boy, do you have some beautiful, lovely healing energy. You need to use it and not be afraid to use it. I hope that helps you. And I think you did need to know that. Right, Chris.
All right. Anna Lee says, good morning. My kitty, Luna, is having a mastectomy Monday.
Aww.
Will she pull through it? Will we have more time together? She is my love. Thank you.
You'll have a little bit more time together, so make the most of it. We shall put her on our healing list. We shall be sending her healing. Did she say Monday, Chris?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll be right there in my way. I'll be right there. We'll be sending her healing. We'll definitely put her in our healing prayers. Please let us know how she does, would you? Because our pets, our loved ones are so precious. My beautiful Cachorro came, to me. He was he was exhausted. He was tired. Michelle has been running him ragged with her dogs. But this morning I woke up, and as I'm getting out of bed, I mean, this boy, he's 14 years old. And he was up and jumping and running and so excited and just leaping about. Of course, it only lasts for 5 minutes because he is old. So it doesn't last very long. And he ate his food, and then he's been sitting next to me on the sofa most of the morning. We love them, don't we? They are special to us. So please let us know how she does. I think one more, Chris, or one or two more maybe.
Yeah, Mark's mentioning that he did share Eventbrite, but there were no more tickets available. So we should say that we have opened up another stack of tickets. So try again.
If you have gone to Eventbrite and it says there are no more tickets, can you let us know? Because we do have tickets to this event. It is available. I know that lots of people have gone there and been disappointed because because you weren't able to get tickets, but you are able to get tickets. There are tickets available. So Mark, if you want a ticket, please let us know if for any reason there is a glitch there and it says there are no more, because we need to know, because there are tickets and people are already buying tickets. So I would be very surprised. It is, you go to Eventbrite. Chris does have the link. She is going to put it up in a few minutes again for all of you who are out there. The webinar is on the 24th of October, and it'll be at least a 2-hour thing going on. Tickets are $45. Of course, we have to pay Eventbrite, we have to pay Zoom, and we have to pay all of those other people who are doing all this stuff. We've tried to make it as easily accessible and available to as many people as we possibly can. But please, if you're having a struggle and you can't find it or you're not able to book it, let me know. Rosemary at rosemaryaltea.com, or come back on Thursday morning. We should be back here on Thursday morning again with our show, The Spirit World Sees All. There'll be lots of questions and all of that lovely stuff. That'll be Thursday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. British time. We should be back here for story time next week. We wish we had lots and lots and lots and lots and lots more time for all of you, but we don't. If you would like to know more about a consultation, if you'd like to know more about books, if you would like to know more about our guided meditations, if you'd like to know more about future webinars, which we are planning, then hey, email me once again, Rosemary at rosemaryaltea.com. and we will do our best to answer you as quickly as we possibly can, and to give you all that information. Did I miss anything, Chris?
No, I think that's good. Just wish
Okay.
everyone a great week.
Well, thank you, all of you. Thank you so much for your support. I do love you all, and you are lovely to me. I was going to say most of you, but actually all of you, you're all lovely to me, and I really appreciate it. I'd like to say thank you, Chris, very much for all of your work and your input. We couldn't do it without you. And I'd also, of course, last but by no means least, I'd like to say thank you to Grey Eagle for joining us, because boy, does he have some great things to say sometimes. Please, all of you out there, I hope to see you next week. I hope to see you on Thursday. In the meantime, have a very, very blessed rest of today. And please, all of you out there, live in the moment. Live for today. Let tomorrow take care of itself, sort of. You know what I'm saying. But live for today, and ensure as best you can that tomorrow is the best that you can make it, because you just never know when all of this is going to end. And I don't mean life, I mean this world of ours. We're in such a precarious state right now, but we will continue living, we will continue loving, we will continue laughing. So please, 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 all of you, with that thought in mind, have a very, very blessed rest of the day, and have a fabulous and a wonderful and a very blessed weekend, everybody.